Welcome, friends and family, to Nightly Gaming News. Hopefully, we can talk about gaming news nightly. Yeah, that's the dream, but the dream is being crushed. Sadly, demonetized every single video. And since these are news videos, I can't just upload them early and wait for them to clear or anything like that. So all I can do is beg, basically. Beg you guys to like, beg you guys to comment, beg you guys to engage and share the video, and beg you guys to, look at the Patreon. That's really all I can do, but I do want to keep doing this. I think it's fun, and it's something that I could do additionally to everything else that I do. The top 10s, the first impressions, and it's something that I can do, especially now that I started another channel. Actually, another channel. Anyways, you guys want to hear some news, right? So what's the good stuff that happened recently? Well, the first thing I want to mention is the gameplay in the background. I like to shout indie games out. This is actually a great series, I think, to sort of showcase games that I can't just do individual videos for. So this game is actually on sale. It's $1 on the Google Play Store. It's called Mini Metro, and I don't know how to really describe it. To me, it kind of gives me a sensation of tower defense, but it's a management game. It's like the most bare bones management game you could think of with, well, subways. It's great. It's just good stuff. I'm addicted to it. So that's the gameplay in the background. Hope you guys have fun with that. And now, moving into the deal of the day. I like to start out every day with a deal here, and that's going to be free Sanctum 2, actually on Humble Bundle. This is not the first time that Sanctum 2 has been given away, if I'm not mistaken, and Sanctum is constantly going on sale. Now, I have not actually played this game myself, but I think maybe we should all get together and play it. Is this not co-op? I do believe it is a co-op-ish game. Anyways, it's being given away on Humble Bundle. I love showing off giveaways when they do happen, and luckily, yeah, I think most, if not all of our deals of the days have been giveaways. So there's another giveaway, Humble Bundle, check it out. Dude, Humble Bundle is so on point. Aside from giving away H1Z1 for the Humble Bundle monthly, Humble Bundle is freaking good stuff. Humble Bundle Trove or Humble, dude, oh my God, say that 3 times fast. But regardless, most of the stuff that Humble Bundle gives away and their stuff that they do is freaking awesome. Definitely worth a little bit of cash to throw their way. All right, let's get into the main stories. I got 5 today. The story 1 is going to be talking about Destiny and the hidden experience gates. So this is kind of a little bit conspiracy theory, sort of. A post on Reddit was kind of analyzing here their experience rates, and depending on what they were doing. So apparently, now this might not be conclusive. There might be some changes here or there. It might depend on your experience. We'll get to the root of this, but it's a little bit of drama. We got to talk about it, right? So Destiny apparently has hidden experience ramping. So basically what this means is that if you're gaining experience a little too quickly, then suddenly they're gonna give you diminishing returns. Now, I don't agree with that. Like, if you're grinding the game and if you're playing the game, you should get straight flat rewards. That's just honestly what I believe. You can give daily rewards, additional rewards, but whenever you cut players off, whenever you actually give them a limit. This is something that we complained about in Warframe and Battlefront 2 and a lot of other games, and of course Destiny being a looter shooter and a couple of other microtransactions kind of schemy things happening with this game. Of course they're going to have experience gating, and of course they're going to do it in the most sly, hidden way possible. Now, it's not going to just completely stop you from getting experience. It's just the more and more you play, the more hardcore and the more rapidly you're gaining experience, then you're going to get diminishing returns, to a point where you might have significantly less than what you actually did and committed to that day. And I think that sucks. So let me know your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments below. Especially a game about grinding. Why would you punish people for grinding better? Okay, yeah. Next story. Monster Hunter World. We got 20 minutes of gameplay total between a couple of videos. Gematsu, anyways, has an article with all this stuff and everything. So links in the description. But anyways, I saw the footage and I thought it was pretty cool. I wish there was some translation though. I didn't actually look around that hard. But anyways, the gameplay was actually pretty self-explanatory. It's getting me excited for the game. Now, I'm not somebody who is like a savant at Monster Hunter, okay? I played like one game freaking years ago, like when the series was first starting. I barely even remember it, but I do remember like how unique it was, and I always like watching videos on it. I just didn't have the consoles that this game really played on. I sold my PlayStation back when it was on that. I didn't get a DS, which I don't know why it mostly was on DS. That was pretty weird, but regardless, we're finally getting a full-fledged PC Monster Hunter game, and it's gonna come to the West, which is great. And I just like to show off, hey, here's some gameplay, here's some stuff, and I just want to let you guys know I'm interested in it. Hopefully you guys are interested in it. If you're not, just watch some gameplay. Now, alternatively, there is a new free-to-play game coming out called Dauntless, and I actually got beta access to that, and I will be playing that. You'll definitely be seeing that as background footage, probably sooner than later. But yeah, Dauntless is a Monster Hunter clone, essentially. So look forward to that too. Next up, shout out of the day, we have The Power of PlayStation Startup Sounds by NAKEY JAKEY. And he just kind of goes to explain like why it was so freaking awesome the PlayStation 1 had that sweet startup sound. And a lot of other consoles had cool startup sounds, you know, it kind of masked a little bit of loading. It's like, it kind of introduces you into the console. It kind of gets you ready to play the game. And a lot of the times it actually gives you some important information. So this video, don't worry, it's not super highbrow. I call it smart, dumb humor, but it's kind of in your face, slap you in your face, stupid humor, but it's actually, he goes into some depth a little bit with what makes these things so good. You know, these small little things that a lot of people don't care about or don't notice, but then when you actually hear them again, God, that nostalgia punches you right in the gut. So yeah, cool video. We're going to shout that out. We're going to try to keep doing these every day. So if you got a cool video you want me to shout out, then, you know, let us know in the Discord. Links in the description below, as well as every story here. All right, next up in news, and I think this is really cool. I love seeing stuff like this, but there is a game called Heat Signature, and some critics, well, they did their thing and they critiqued the game. As you might imagine, they looked through the reviews, the developer looked through some reviews, and actually decided to fix the game or add things to the game that were specifically from critiques. And this is really cool that they were so open about it, that they were so welcoming of being, you know, people being critical, and they took those ideas and they made this whole post about it, and they literally added this stuff to the game. They fixed up the game based on actual, you know, reviewers, what they said, and I think the game's better for it now. And not only is the game better for it, but I think that, you know, this developer just got a little bit extra goodwill from the community. This was highly upvoted on Reddit, so definitely something I like to see. I mean, as a critic myself, it would be pretty cool if, you know, some developers kind of took me a little bit seriously, or just took any of us seriously. You ever get the feeling that video game companies, just companies period, right? Not a single developer, but just these freaking faceless companies, doesn't it seem like they actually don't listen to their true audience? They're just kind of listening to their stats and graphs, to their spreadsheets, and they're just really kind of squeezing out as much money as possible, and that's all they care about. Everything else is just kind of like, you know, a sock puppet over the cash machine. That's how I feel, but it's really cool to see indie developers, well, they're real. They're real freaking people with faces, with hearts and souls, and they care about their games, or I mean, I would hope they would. And this is just one indie developer that's going above and beyond, and just doing a good do, and I appreciate it. So thanks so much. And not just as a critic, but as a player, as somebody who likes to play video games, even small indie games, it's really cool to see that the people who are making the games that I play are also players themselves. And our final story today is going to be talking about AXIOM Verge has a retail launch. And I kind of just basically, I don't want to go in depth to AXIOM Verge. I don't, you know, it's getting a retail launch. That's cool. It's an indie game. It's a sort of cyberpunk Metroidvania title. It was actually one of the first in a wave of Metroidvania titles, and it was one of the better ones. It's maybe one of the best. Great games that definitely emulates very specifically Super Metroid. And it's a cool game. I understand that. But that's not what we're really talking about here. It's cool that it's getting a retail launch. That's the news. But here is the, you know, the Skylent additive. Here's the editorial here. This I want to talk about is just the fact that indies are finding a home on the Switch. So AXIOM Verge retail for the Switch. That's awesome. More indie games should be put on store shelves, maybe. I know the digital platform, it's great in a lot of ways. Steam takes a cut sometimes, but there's lots of other ways to kind of sell your game online, and it's just really easy for people to download. True. But just getting more games on more platforms is fantastic. And specifically the Switch seems to be a great home for lots of indie games. Have you guys seen that? Have you seen how many indie games are coming over to the Switch? And frankly, like the PS4 did a pretty decent job too. And now Xbox finally is trying to get some of their own titles in there, and it's trying to actually like get a lot of free-to-plays, though some of them are shutting down, just like Marvel Heroes. Anyways, it's cool that more indie games are being taken seriously. And AAA companies are making their own indie games, and indie developers are making pseudo AAA games. Like indie games, or just these more specific, more specified, more streamlined, more niche titles. They're just packing everything they can into that focus, into that singular concept, and they're just making a great individual experience and selling it. And I think that works great as like a product that you can go and buy in a store. I think that that's perfect. Instead, you know, you have these games as service like Battlefront 2, $60 on a store shelf, and then, you know, season passes and, you know, the microtransactions and all that. That sort of thing maybe is better for digital, and then maybe not a $60 price tag. But indie games, dude, you know, like $10, $5, $20, heck yeah, dude. Slap that up on a store shelf, or, you know, actually include that, you know, with a Switch, you know, library of games there, or PS4. It's cool. It's cool. And we actually love these games. In fact, you find that indie games, I believe, I'm kind of assuming that you will find, I think you'll find that indie games, since they do focus on such a specific experience, you end up having a more hardcore following to those very specific gameplay elements and those specifically, you know, art style and aesthetic. And we fall in love with the very weird worlds of these games. So, I mean, thank God for games like Nier Automata, you know, showing that even AAA can do weird games. So indie or otherwise, just these really special games deserve to be sort of trophied on store shelves, in my opinion. They deserve to be promoted and played on these different platforms, Switch or otherwise. And I just think that's just freaking great. Okay, so I do like that there are also a lot coming to mobile, like Don't Starve. Don't Starve, you can play on mobile devices, and plenty others. So that's cool stuff, man. I like that indies are not just more prolific, but they're taken a little bit more professionally seriously. That's freaking cool. So anyways, guys, that's all I got to talk about today. I could have probably ranted less on some things, more on others, but you guys let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoy that deal of the day. And the gameplay in the background, again, Mini Metro. I definitely recommend this game. I'm addicted, and I'm gonna literally go back to playing it as soon as I start rendering this video. So that's all I can say. Thanks for watching the Nightly Gaming News, where hopefully we can talk about gaming news nightly. Let me know in the comments below how I'm doing, and I'll see you again next time.